Hi everybody, I am Lady Stars and Fire. My real name is Michelle Espinosa, and this is the weekly healing messages for June 12th through the 19th. So how did last week go for you, honey? Last week had so much energy in it, and I know as an empath myself, it just felt a lot like this. I mean, the more I got around people, the more I was picking up, and the more it just was like, trying to keep up with things. And that is the change going on. But before I go into anything else, on my way out here, and this is the first time I've ever seen this during the day, and I thought that it was important enough to bring up. However, I'm going to have to go back and post information about it. I've never seen fireflies, lightning bugs, during the day. Never. And 2 landed on my rune book as I walked out the door and sat my book down. I'm sitting outside the sanctuary today. So as soon as I got to the sanctuary, the energy is just so strong, I can't even come any closer to it to do the video. But the lightning bugs landed on my rune book. 2 of them, not 1, and they're mating. That might give you a little bit of information that you might want to look into for the week. However, let me go back into what the healing messages are all about. Their healing messages, I always ask Spirit to give us guidance and counsel that will help any and everyone that would possibly find information from the healing messages. And I give you information from Spirit, from astrology, and if I have runes, then I'll possibly drop them in, or I'll go into a separate video for the runes. And I only have 1 at this time, so I'm going to throw it into this one. There's so much information, so I'm going to try to speak really fast so I don't bore you and make the video incredibly way too long. Anyway, first thing I'm given is to ask you the question, because I'm getting the question mark. Did number 6, did its energy last week? Because I said we were gonna, what they were giving us is that we were in need of number 6 energy, and if it was not coming in its positive way, it would show itself. And the question that they're giving us back is, did 6 show itself to you? Remember, 6 speaks to us on many different levels, and I'm only going to mention some of them. 6 speaks to us of the scales of basically understanding the empath itself, the energy transfer that goes with the empath, and all that that entails. Whether you're aware of your gift or not, whether you can control it, you can do anything with it, or you're just learning because you're a new sensitive, coming to understand it. You can't shield, you can't ground, or you're just coming to understand how strong you really are. The 6 also speaks to us of unconditional love. Were you getting unconditional love? Were you giving it? Were you showing it? Did you see it? Balance, harmony, family, home, guardianship, service, selflessness, nurturing, integrity, and problem solving. There's more information in 6, but these are the ones that were really being brought up to me. And the reason why is because they're showing it to us with the number 4 as well last week. And that's part of the question. Not number 4, but was with the 4th house. And that's because when you look into the 4th house, let's think about it. The 4th house deals with your root chakra, your sacral chakra, and your solar plexus. In truth, it deals with all 3. But I'm going to come back to that, because that was the question about last week as we go into this week. I'm being told also, how can you soar? How can you truly soar and fly when you don't know you have wings? When you don't believe that you have wings? When you can't understand that just like we hold a kite, and we let it into the air and it floats like the birds, we can do this from within us. But that's going to go back to the valve, and I'll get to that in a minute. They're saying, how do you know? How can you believe and experience it until you start to surrender and believe in it? They're reminding us also, like I said, Jesus is one of my shamanic teachers. And I'm being reminded by him over and over again of ye of such little faith. The calm is found from within the storm because you are the calm. You are the ray of light. But you have to believe you're the ray of light, that its infinite wisdom and love is within you. And they're telling us the calm is found within the storm because you don't need to be a part of the chaos, and you don't need to be a part of the competition. Remember, you're a soul, not a human. Don't be lowered by human egotistical problems. Remember, love first. Just like I said to somebody the other day, and I've been hearing it all week, compassion and love is more important than a time clock, more important than clocking in, more important than doing the human things that ego gets caught up in that competition, in those areas. Remember, you're a soul first, and your first job above all is unconditional love, and to remember how to give and receive it. Okay? That's where the soulfulness comes in, and that's where the connection comes in. This week, as well as last week, depending on how you noticed the 6 coming in, was it showing itself and its energy to you in the way of where the imbalance is, so that you can start to see how to create the balance. I'm being shown, and this sounds so weird, but it's really not, considering the very first thing that happened as I came out here today, mosquito. The very first thing that came out here today was the lightning bugs, or the fireflies, mating more or less on my rune book. Is this week I've been getting insects like nobody's business. But insects speaks to us on so many different levels. And I've been posting little totems and spirit medicine about the insects because they actually have a very high survival rate. Like a cockroach. You cannot kill cockroaches. I mean, they live through anything. That speaks to you about survival. That speaks to you about, you know, reincarnating yourself. I've been getting the centipede. I've been getting the scorpion. The scorpion makes sense because we just came out earlier last week of Scorpio when we went into Sagittarius right before the full moon. The lightning bugs. I even got a dragonfly earlier. I mean, it's all coming to us in the way that Spirit is explaining it to me, is unearthing from the surface, like from the Earth's surface, which would be for us, everything that is inside is unearthing itself, is rising up and coming out. And that's because you got to remember, this is a 1 year. This is a number 1 year, 2017. 7, 8, 9, plus the 1, 10, drops you back to 1. This is a 1 year. 1 year is the beginning of a cycle. It means it's the alpha year, so ego is attached, but it's also about having the courage to stand up and start new. But it's also about learning and moving forward and evolving. And in order to learn, you've got to learn your mistakes, where our ego gets in our way. So this makes a lot of sense. Unearthing from the surface and lifting this stuff up and out of us. We just went through the full moon. It makes a lot of sense. But with the bugs being attached to it, I'm also being shown that it's going to be in a very accelerated week. And I'm being shown it like full circle accelerated, like the circle's just going over and over and over again. But I'm feeling speed is what I'm feeling in it. Very much speed, very much energy driven, like very high in energy. And in general, and I'm being told adaptability. But remember, Jupiter went direct last week. And Neptune goes direct this week. Jupiter is abundance, baby. Hello, right there's your speed and your energy coming into its moving direct and starting to move outwardly, along with the lessons we learned through the number 6. Or if we're stubborn, because even I'm stubborn, we still are learning those lessons. And we'll never stop learning. That's part of evolving. Anyway, I'm I'm being told again that that the question mark also goes with the rune Manaz. And I'm going to come back over that at the end, or right before I go into astrology, because that's the only rune I'm given. But at the moment, I'm just going to pull it from the book and I'm going to tell you what it means. But I'm told the question mark that they're asking you is for you to search for your answers within Manaz, as well as within what was said last week, the Vav, which is Hebrew letters, and I always go to the Torah for that, within the 4th house, which directly speaks to us of family, home, roots, of our inner security, which is speaking to our root chakra, our solar plexus, and our sacral chakra. And are they level? Are we getting rid of those blocks? Are we cleaning out those blocks? Are we growing within those chakras? Are we clearing those chakras? And are you able to start to stand more straight? Or are you still more like, and what I'm shown is like when the person plays the flute, or it's not a flute, but whatever it is they're playing, and the snake starts to dance, are you still wobbly like it looks like the snake is? Or are you coming stern into your chakras and your base is becoming stronger, your sacral chakra, and into your solar plexus? Because I'm really being told that the solar plexus is being worked on, and that has to do with a lot of ego versus soulfulness. But that's going to bring us back to the Vav. And like I said, I'm trying to make this fast because there's so much information that I'm being given. So I hope it helps you. But the Vav reminds us first to be the ray of light. Be the ray of light. You have no idea how much you shine to somebody else that you don't even realize you shine for. That you don't realize that your little bit of light that you think you have is so important to somebody else. And that is what we need to remember and to spread. Be the ray of light. The very secret of the Vav is the connection of the ray of light. The light that comes out of the hollow, empty nothingness. We all have our moments that we're just give up. We're all just depressed. We all just had enough. And you having that ray of light might be just enough to help somebody get up and start to fight again, basically. But the Vav speaks to us of the very connection of the two dimensions of internal and external, of both parts being of the creation, of our continuous interaction between creative power and created reality. Created power and created reality. Bringing it into true ability, true reality, true power. Not one or the other, but the two together. And the Vav being the secret, which is the ray of light that came out of the nothingness, speaks to us also of reaching in and connecting with the infinite source itself. The oneness. I'm sorry, I got a bird in a tree staring at me. With the oneness, with the source of all energy, of nature, of that connection. You are connecting with that infinite source, and there is your light. It's so much bigger than you will ever understand. But if you can truly get into the depths of the Vav, it may help you to understand where it's moving into the source itself and into that next chapter, basically. The Vav also speaks to us of, in its divine meaning, it's the hook. It's the pillar of truth. It is the consistency of the middle pillar. It is the divinity piercing through the very middle, pointing, and it points to every single thing of creation. That hook that hooks into every single part of creation. The oneness, the infinite source itself. This is what they're talking about. And we're all moving into evolving into that. But until you get there, that's just something that we have to learn to come into that surrendering. Into that complete surrendering in order to receive it. That's ego fighting you if you're not there, honey. It's that simple. And like I said, it's speaking to us again of the fourth house itself. I was also shown a pink balloon. A pink balloon just floating about. Now, pink is important because it was a very pale, soft pink with sensitivities afloat. Sensitivities afloat. Meaning, within all of this energy that's coming in, remember to have love. Remember to spread that love, to spread that light, to be that light, to spread that love. Not to let the sensitivity take you into, uncomfortable feelings. Basically, remember, sometimes we all get spun up and we simply need to go, I need to find my Zen for a minute. Last night, I had to go stand in a freezer at work because I'm a fire sign. And for me, what gets me back to normal is water. And I was not near water, so I had to go straight to ice. I was just like, oh, in the freezer so that I could get back to right. And the biggest, hardest thing that you're going to realize on a moment-to-moment basis, honey, is when you are in that, and you've got to get back to right. If you can realize what's getting you there, stop, and pull yourself back down, you won't spin out of control. Now, for this week in general, for astrology, we have Neptune, it's going direct. Neptune is going direct on the 16th at 7:09 a.m. Eastern Time in the States. It is on Friday. Remember, Jupiter just went direct. Neptune, I posted something earlier this week. Neptune is where fantasy meets reality. It's where the ability for dreams can actually become reality. It's where you can create all of your magic into truth. It's where you can, but it's where your psychic energy actually becomes reality, to be able to pull it into physical reality, to dream it to life, where you're able to see that line of how to dream it to life. But Neptune is the master of illusion because it's fantasy meets harsh reality. So it speaks to us also of the illusion of what is fake. What is it that we aren't building from the positive, from the healthy side? I've been saying over and over and over and over again that what side are you on of Neptune? Are you on your ego side that's chatting in your ear, talking shit to you, and jumping into your nostalgia of the past and reminding you of something so deeply and desperately that you wished had come true and it didn't? If it's in the past, it's meant to be in the past, baby. I'm sorry. But sometimes we've got to realize that so we can surrender it and let go. Neptune has a way of, the illusion can make you believe that you can create something when deep down you know absolutely positively it is not possible, and there's a reason why there was a door placed in between you and that illusion. And you know when you're lying to yourself. That is the illusion of Neptune, because it will make you want to believe that's ego chatting in your ear. Are you creating from truthful, soulful, uplifting, and now I'm going to bring it into reality? Or am I digging into shit that I shouldn't be digging into because ego's chatting in my ear, and in fact, I'm going to make my Neptune create from a very bad, ill water, basically. And that's what we want to stay away from. We don't want to be in our emotional waters and be digging up dirty, ill water and create. Because this is a very creating time. It's a 1. You're getting rid of that stuff. We made it halfway through the year. Soon we'll be in the year 2. Okay? And that's harmony and balance and growth. So we've got to let that shit go, babe. And you don't want Neptune to send that illusion and ego to be playing that game with you. Anyway, like I said, what side of Neptune are you on? Because as she goes direct, she's going to be a whole lot more vague about the lessons, because she's not speaking to you directly anymore. She's speaking now outwardly. So you want to make sure those last lessons that she teaches over this week, you get. Okay, baby? Now, the moon is going to move Right now, on Sunday and Monday, the moon is in Capricorn, which is what I always say is the foundation. It's the duty. It's the boss. It's authority. And we get very much into this energy. But as we come into Tuesday through Thursday, the moon moves into Aquarius. Aquarius is ruled with Uranus, and it's more into your inventive, your independent, your freedom. Your ballsy side might be coming out a little bit more. You're ready to just fly off the handle and try something new, and hell with it, I can do this. That can be a good thing as long as you don't let ego send you in a negative way in that. Then as we move into Friday and Saturday, we are going into moon being in Pisces. That's right when Neptune is going direct. So that's seriously, Neptune is in its home. Like I said, Neptune is in its home. It's in Pisces. It's going to go direct there on Friday and Saturday, and the moon will then be there. So that's going to be so much energy that you're going to be intaking. And Pisces has that way of wanting to believe that everything is great. But sometimes we can get hurt because we want to believe more than we really truly see the truth. That's Neptune's illusion. You need to make sure that you're being thorough here and you're not lying to yourself. And then we go into Sunday and Monday for the very new beginnings, because we just finished the new moon. Jupiter just went direct. Neptune is just going direct. And we start in Aries, the moon does. So it gives us that brand new fresh start. Now, this week also is going to be very much a fire and air energy week, where fire meets air in the middle and is having a conversation, which means the winds of change. Fire and air are just and lighting up like a wild fire air storm. Winds of change, basically. You've got two positive trines that are going to be coming in this week, especially on the 14th, which is Wednesday. This is all air trine. It's going to be the moon in Aquarius, which means you've got that ballsy energy that's just full of energy in general because it's an air sign, and it's independent, it's freedom, it's individuality, it's inventive energy, and it is speaking to Mercury, which is in Gemini. Mercury is your communication. Both sides of you see both sides of the story, for good or bad. Plain and simple. Like I was saying, the Allstate commercial where the people keep getting robbed, where the car gets robbed and they're like, yay, you know, she's like, yay, what a day. And the guy at the end of the commercial is like, what a day, because his car was robbed. And she just got a car. And the same with the sofa. I mean, I love that idea of Gemini. It's both sides of the story completely, words and all. It's speaking to your Mercury. It's speaking to your communication. Your emotional side is speaking to your Aquarius, which is that ballsy, inventive, independent, I can do anything energy, speaking to Gemini and Mercury, which is your communication, and that that is speaking to Jupiter. Jupiter has now gone direct, and it's going to give you that balls to go after it. It's going to give you the intelligence, that higher learning to back it up and be able to, if you use it wisely. However, on that very same day, you have the same trine we've had for a long time. I mean, for like 2 months, and we're still going to have it for like until I think January. But I'm being told this day it's very highlighted on the 14th, which is Wednesday. That is a fire trine. All energies within that trine is fire, so fire and air. And this is Uranus and Pallas. That is the wise weaver of patterns, which is Athena, the warrior. And Uranus, again, speaking about your independence, your inventive nature, your individuality. In Aries, speaking to the ability to start new beginnings. That is speaking to Saturn and Sagittarius. The ability to take on the chance of trying new rules, new boundaries. And then it's speaking to the node, the North Node, and Leo, which is all about service and the courage of heart. These two are going to fly up like wildfire throughout the week. It's air and fire meet. That's the winds of change, and you can make that work for you if you're using it wisely. Then for the positives, we also have Mars, which is in Cancer. Cancer is nurturing. I mean, overall, Cancer is nurturing. It is mothering. It is nesting. It is emotional, but it can also become a little too attentive, like basically, it can be a little too sucking the energy out of it. I need basically. At the same time, Mars is there. That's your warrior. That's your passion. That's your action. That's your SWAT team. That's your power. Okay? In that emotional area of that nurturing. That goes back to our 4th house and our root chakra, our sacral chakra, and our solar plexus. Within that number 6 is what they're talking about. The whole valve. This is, again, it is Mars energy is speaking to our Neptune. That's the power to create. For the good or the bad. That's a free will thing. But this is in a positive way. So as long as you have your free will in check and you're in positive, this should be supporting you in so many positive ways this week. Unless you've got to get your ego in check. I'm sorry, I just speak it the way I see it. On the 18th and the 19th, which is Sunday and Monday. Now this one I find to be highly important. 18th and 19th, Sunday and Monday, Lilith, the dark moon, is ego in most ways. I mean, she's got the power to say, you don't own me, and you can't make me do anything, because I'm going to do whatever I damn well please. And that's that. And that can be a very positive thing, because she can give you the power, the strength, the courage to go after what it is deep down you want, but she can also do it for the wrong reasons, for ego. And she is speaking in a very positive way to the moon in Aries. The moon in Aries, it's a brand new start. She could be having this conversation about finally letting go of some of these old things, but giving her strength and her power into the new things. As long as you let the old go, Lilith can be such a supportive energy right here. And it's very important because it's only going to happen on Sunday and Monday. Now, the challenging things for this week is, and I promise you, this week will get shaken up with your Chiron because of Neptune going direct. Neptune's sending in those last messages. And with those last messages of fantasy meets reality, nostalgia meets letting it go, basically. And the truth versus the illusion. Chiron is going to be swept up in it because Chiron is right there in Pisces energy. It's not really close enough within the degrees. However, I promise you, they are telling me Chiron is going to get swept up in this energy. And Chiron is your wounded healer. So those areas that you're healing needs to get healed because the wounds aren't healing. This is your last time to really get this message and to let that cry out. To let go and surrender. Basically, because Chiron is going to be speaking in here. Chiron is going to get shaken up, and those areas are going to be surfacing. Like I said, you're unearthing some of this stuff that's coming up and out. Then I have Ceres and the Sun is speaking to Neptune, and then it's also speaking to Lilith. So you've got your ego, your core, your karma, speaking to your fantasy versus illusion versus Saturn and Lilith, which is what she don't want to let go of this week. That is your challenge. You're going to be having to face off yourself in this area. Face off yourself of the hidden stuff you don't really want to dig up, because she's still going to be talking this week through those challenges. And Mars in Cancer is going to be speaking to Jupiter as well, but it's also going to be speaking to Pluto, which is about the change itself and being able to move on in a positive way so the change can be created in the positive way through death, decay, and destruction and letting go. Now, end of it right now, wrong, is Manaz. And this, I was shown in the sky. They showed me it through the question mark and wrote it in the sky to me. That's why I didn't even pull the runes. If they want me to go back later this week, I'll make a second video. Manaz speaks to us. Again, this is the question that they're asking you. Manaz speaks to us of man, humanity, people, and air, the world of people, intelligence, creative skills, and ability, focuses on awareness of ourself and our one place within the scheme of things. Self-realization through the ordering of natural everyday life and its day-to-day daily tasks. It shows the presence of someone seeking and finding of their true path, or that person who feels victimized, weak, and lost. And if they're feeling victimized, weak, or lost, that's ego keeping you from evolving. You've got to learn to shut ego up. You've got to realize ego is not going to serve you in any way, shape, or form, other than to realize what it is you need to let go of. Next, we have it speaks to us of the highest level of spiritual achievement. It speaks to us of self-realization and finding that the hero is within, as well as finding the personal quest and awakening to our one place within the scheme of all things. Our belonging, our divine energy, our manifested human acceptance of our twin energy, of our human and our divine twin energy. It speaks to us of realization that comes only from playing your true part. I love you, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Bye.